Hello YouTube, this is Top Notch Sports once again, and I'm going to make this video, it's going to be on the NFL, my second NFL video out there, and this segment is going to be based on the top 10 NFL quarterbacks. Of course, this is my view of it, my perspective, and not only that, it's a culmination of their body of work and their last season. So, it's kind of like averaging it out, because, some rookies, hey, you'll see in my list, if a rookie's in there or not. Some guys have won plenty of Super Bowls, but maybe they kind of came up short last year. But this is kind of like weighing it all, putting it all together. I hope you enjoy this. Thank you. So number one of the top 10 quarterbacks for me, and this might cause some discrepancy, is Tom Brady. Tom Brady is still my number one because all great quarterbacks make good players great, great players even better players, Hall of Famers. We all know that, but I think Tom Brady does it, more so than almost anybody who's ever, set foot on the gridiron. And why? Because it just comes up over and over. You take a guy like Aaron Hernandez, who's I believe, a fourth round draft pick, and he got a huge deal. Of course, we know he messed that up, but he gets a huge deal for the New England Patriots. He's considered one of the more dynamic tight ends we have in the game. Uh, another guy is Wes Welker, who, no offense to the guy, but who was Wes Welker before he was a guy who really couldn't make an NFL roster. He's one of the, better slot receivers in the game. Julian Edelman, one of the more productive slot players on that team as well. He was a glorified special teams player, but he's a really productive slot, receiver with Tom Brady. Um, Gronk, I think, would be good almost anywhere, but what he really, you got to think, he was a good college player at Arizona, I believe. I'll check that. But on the New England Patriots, he's a top three tight end. So, I don't think that's by accident. You take a guy like Deion Branch, who was the Super Bowl MVP on the New England Patriots against the Eagles in the 2004 Super Bowl, I believe, and he leaves the Patriots. He goes to a team in the Seahawks who, yes, they had a declining Matt Hasselbeck, but he was still decent enough to get him the ball. And if Branch was really, that great, he would make a guy like Hasselbeck better. It turns out he doesn't do much with the Seahawks. He comes back to the Patriots, and he's one of the better Patriot wideouts again. So I don't think this is all by accident. And I got another guy is Ben Watson, who is much like Aaron Hernandez, right? In the fact that he's big and he's fast and he's a big matchup nightmare. Probably most of you don't even know who Ben Watson is. So that proves I think that all validates that statement. Number two, I'm going to go Aaron Rodgers. The reason I don't have him with Brady is because he actually has an amazing receiving core. Now, can you say that does he make some guys, better than they really are? Of course. But Greg Jennings was great before Aaron Rodgers. Jermichael Finley was one of the more dynamic tight ends even before Aaron Rodgers. You know, uh, Randall Cobb, I understand that, he's great with Rodgers, but he's a guy like you could see has athleticism on special teams, and you could see that he'd be good nearly anywhere. Jordy Nelson is another guy, big, strong, wide receiver who's good. He'd be good anywhere. Now is he, best off with, the Packers and Aaron Rodgers? Yeah, but you could see his ability to go up and, catch the football and, make big plays. That translates anywhere. So I don't think he's, So I think Aaron Rodgers has a great supporting cast. He puts up great numbers with them, but I think if Brady had that supporting cast, you'd see even better numbers. That's just me. But of course, he's a dual-threat quarterback. He can run. He can escape the pocket. He's a precision passer. He's got a strong arm. Throws a beautiful deep ball. He's number two, of course. Give that man a defense, and I think he wins another Super Bowl. Number three, this might, surprise a few people, a few not. I'm going to go with Drew Brees. Drew Brees, I think, could win almost every year. He's a courageous leader, another precision passer. He might not have the greatest size, the greatest arm. He's only 6 feet, if that. He doesn't have, a cannon for an arm. Granted, he does have a strong arm, trust me. But his timing, his touch, his accuracy, his reads are just fantastic. Better than almost any quarterback. He shows up in the big game. He doesn't make the big mistake. He still performs in the fourth quarter. Give that man a defense, and this guy would have multiple Super Bowls. I don't think that's opinion. I really think it's a fact. Unfortunately, of course, this is under the bounty. He won the Super Bowl. I mean, you know, because he's had some bad luck in the playoffs. Against the San Francisco 49ers, not only did Alex Smith play the game of his life, but the Saints, you know, special teams fumbled twice, and their defense let up a lot of points. And the same thing also against the Seahawks that year when Marshawn Lynch carved them up for that run. Breeze had him in perfect position to win that game. So, you know, that's some bad luck. And luck is a part of sports, of course, but still. Number 4, I'm going to go Peyton Manning. I think he might be the greatest regular season quarterback of all time. But, and this is why he's not higher, but, you know, he got his ring. I understand that, so that's why he's in this top 5. Of course, you know, that'd be foolish to put him outside of the top 5. But in the playoffs, he's not the guy that I want for the last drive, as opposed to Rodgers, Breeze, or Tom Brady. I understand Tom Brady, he did come up short, but, you know, everyone comes up short at some points. But for the most part in his career, we know Tom Brady. But anyway, back on track now. Not just last year has he made that mistake of throwing the big interception. Not was it just in the Super Bowl against the Saints. It's been a career motive for this guy. That's why he's not higher on my list. He makes the big mistake. That's just my opinion on Peyton Manning. And now number 5, I think this guy, some people might think, oh, why is he number 5? I'm going to go with Eli Manning. Eli Manning is almost the reciprocal of his brother. He's a good regular season quarterback, not really much above. He's not amazing in the regular season, but he's a fantastic playoff quarterback. The guy wins road playoff games. You know, he goes up against tough defenses, tough opposing quarterbacks, hostile environments, and he gets the job done. He's clutch. He's at his best in the fourth quarter. He's at his, you know, with the money on the line. He's one of the guys you really want with the ball. So I'm going to put him there. And also, you know, he is a guy, if his, you know, believe it or not, his defenses have kept him out of the playoffs several times. You look at last year, a few of his games, he struggled, but his defense couldn't get off the field, no pass rush, below average secondary last season. And then you look at the game with the Eagles that year, the miracle at the Meadowlands, that not his fault, they would have made the playoffs that year. And you look at the year before, where their defense was almost like historically bad for like the Giants. So that's 3 times he could have been in the playoffs. That's 3 more cracks he would have had at the Super Bowl, and that's when he's at his best in the postseason. Number 6, I'm going to go with Ben Roethlisberger. Same thing. First of all, it's a myth that he has bad stats. He has good stats, believe it or not, if you really look at his numbers. But again, he's very good during the regular season, but in the postseason, he takes it up a notch. He's the guy you want in the big game. And he's a winner. He hasn't just won 2 Super Bowls because he has a good defense, he has a good run game. No, he's let him down the field for the drives. He's got him there. He's a main reason they got there. I think that's a big myth thrown out there. He's a winner, 2-time Super Bowl champion. Number 7, this guy to me is similar to Eli Manning, but Joe Flacco. He's a good, sometimes inconsistent quarterback in the regular season, but he's fantastic in the playoffs. He takes it up, a whole nother level in the postseason. A big myth thrown out there by fans is that he got carried by his defense. If you really look at it, that is absolutely not true. That's a complete myth. You look at a game like the Broncos, where the Broncos put up over 30. Joe Flacco's out there and he put up over 30. Let him down the field just to get it to overtime. So obviously that's not a product of a great defense. That's actually poor defense. You look at the Super Bowl when the Ravens were blowing them out, and the 49ers came back and they started to really give the Ravens defense a lot of problems. And who came up? Joe Flacco put up over 30 points, and the 49ers scored, I believe, close to 30 points. So obviously he outdueled them and was the main reason. Hence, that's why he's the Super Bowl MVP. So I want to get rid of that myth. Number 8, I'm going to go with Matt Ryan. I think he's a very good quarterback, but the reason he's not higher for me is because he has a lot of offensive talent. He has 2 stud wide receivers. His number 3 is a solid number 2 at Harry Douglas, by the way. On any other football team, one of the greatest receiving tight ends of all time in Tony Gonzalez, and Michael Turner, who they didn't even have to use last year. I'm not saying he's only good because of weapons, but he has all those weapons, and he's never really gone that far in the playoffs other than last season. And you could harp on the fact against the Niners, the defense let up they let up all those points, but what did Matt Ryan do in the second half? Did he seal the deal? Did he put the game away? No, he did not. So that's why he's not higher for me. He's got to get a Super Bowl to move up on this list. Number 9, I'm going to go Tony Romo. Tony Romo is, I think people act like he's just not good. He puts up very good statistical years. He deals with, not a very good defense in Dallas. They improved though last year. That's for sure. His weapons are good, but they're hurt a lot. And they're able to implement guys, and he's going to make them better. We've seen this with the Laurent Robinson and guys of that stature that you could just implement in the system. Or Kevin Ogletree, another example, and he makes them better, works with them. But with the money on the line, as I alluded to with a guy like Eli Manning, the guy in his division, he makes the big mistake. It wasn't just against the Redskins last year. It wasn't just against the Giants in the 2007 playoffs. It's been a common thing for Tony Romo to make the big mistake despite having a statistically good year. And, if he's going to keep making the big mistake, he can't move into that elite class of quarterbacks. He's got to change that. Number 10, I'm going to go with Andrew Luck. Andrew Luck, to me, could move up this list, but he went to a football team. Were they bad? No, they were not. I mean, were they a horror? Yeah, they were a bad team, but did he have a little bit of help? I'm not going to act like he had no help and he took them to 11-5. Yes, but that's not a great football team. And when he went there, they were 11-5. So I don't think that's by accident. I don't think that's a coincidence. You look at a guy with the combo of IQ, pocket passing, running, maneuvering in the pocket, and he's clutch. He is very clutch. He's terrific in the fourth quarter. With the last drive, he's the guy you want with the ball. And in the playoffs, he actually played very well, but his supporting cast made mistakes, and that kind of led to the loss. And the Ravens were after him the whole game, and he still performed pretty well. And to me, the reason he could be one day a top 5 quarterback is because, to me, he's a mixture of 5 guys. He's a mixture of Peyton Manning with his brain work, his uncanny mental capacity, Eli Manning with his clutchness, his durability, because Eli Manning is one of those guys, I didn't mention this before, doesn't miss a start, never really on IR. Ben Roethlisberger with his size and eluding sacks, maneuvering in the pocket, sometimes getting out of the pocket, and his strength. And then, the overall, passing like a Tom Brady, precision down the field, short routes, intermediate routes, screen passes, like Tom Brady, and Aaron Rodgers falls into that category too. But also he's like Aaron Rodgers in the fact that he could escape the pocket and make a throw. He can escape the pocket and run, much like an Aaron Rodgers. So that's my top 10 quarterbacks. So I got Brady number 1, Aaron Rodgers number 2, Breeze number 3, Peyton number 4, Eli number 5, Big Ben number 6, Joe Flacco number 7, Matt Ryan 8, Tony Romo 9, Andrew Luck 10, and then on the outside looking in, I have Russell Wilson. He seems like a winner. People want to doubt him again because they say not just quarterbacks, but all athletes south of 6 feet tall, like that they can't really succeed, they won't make it at the next level. I personally don't believe that, but that's the contrary belief, and he continues to prove us wrong. So I think he's going to, to keep proving us wrong, despite, people still think, oh, he's not going to, be good on the long run. But is he a dual threat quarterback? Yes. I mean, I think he's got good overall accuracy, especially on his deep passes. He throws a beautiful deep ball. His supporting cast is going to improve. Excuse me. And not only they're young. Add a guy like Percy Harvin. I know he's hurt, but he's going to get healthy. The exterior receivers are going to be helped by the interior presence of Harvin, and vice versa. The run game is going to be stronger because the pass game is going to get better, and the opposite of that is true. And the reason he's going to last is because he knows he's not a big guy. He's going to avoid those big hits. Will defenses figure him out? Yeah, maybe. But he has the ability to, hurt you from the pocket, get outside the pocket, make a throw, get outside the pocket, make, and run the ball. That's my opinion on all the top 10 quarterbacks outside looking in. That was a lengthy one. I thank you for watching, and just keep spreading the word on my videos. I feel like there's improved progress. Let's keep it going, baby. Top Notch Sports.